Everybody, this man, I'm on a roll tonight. Got y'all chilling with me tonight, but I'm on a roll. So here's what I'm talking about tonight. You know what I mean? The class that we're going to be having about the earth element and the water element together. You know what I mean? I decided to kind of like, as we go through each of the elements, I decided to kind of show people how the elements work in conjunction with one another. And that's something that I was talking about. And, you know, being a root worker, man, we got so much different things around us that we can extract energies from. And we don't understand how, you know, even buildings, monuments, and sacred geometry. Like, you can look at this monument right here, right? Look at this monument right here. Now, remember, we just got through talking about, let me see if I get that up there. We just get through talking about the lion. The lion. We just get through talking about the lion. There goes the lion again. Now, so the first lion symbolism we actually saw at the MGM casino. This is the second lion symbolism that we've seen. This is a statue of the lion here. And, you know, they got the old Roman Greek boats and stuff like that. But you got to remember, when all these statues and stuff are put together, these things were put together, you know, with some form of sacred geometry. For the most part, let me jump up here. And look at this angel, man. You know, it has sacred geometry on it. You know, look at the angel. It's kind of like, she's kind of like sticking her breast out and her head and her mind. And everybody is, if you notice, everybody is faced in this direction. Everybody is faced in that direction towards the White House. You know what I mean? See the White House right there. So these statues here are all facing, even the ones on the side, are all looking towards the White House. There is science in that, because this building is a building based off transportation. You see, this is Union Station. This is all about transportation and the transportation energy, the traveling energy. So it's all about domination, not necessarily transportation. It's about domination. You have these energies, the energy of supreme authority here, and the energy of supreme authority here on the two sides. And then up top, they go the birds. They go the eagle. The eagle at the top. The eagle is at the top because the bird, in African science, from where they stole this from, the bird, if you look on the crown of the pharaoh, you see the hawk and the eagles on the crowns of the pharaoh, because those birds have keen vision from far above everybody else. And this keen vision, the energy of that keen vision, is immortalized in the totem animal of the bird. And this is why birds are very sacred in African traditions. And this is why birds that don't fly have a significance and reference over birds that do fly. Birds that fly have a higher significance than, you know, birds that don't. For the most part, birds that don't fly are mostly bloodletting birds. When we talk about blood magic, you know, it's mostly bloodletting birds. You know, a rooster. I've seen people use turkeys and all kind of birds that don't fly to do ceremonies with and stuff like that. But for the most part, back at it. All of the bird symbolisms are very important in African culture, and we always see the bird symbolism here in America also, because the bird is about keen vision, wisdom, and here you have the keen vision and wisdom symbolisms up there on the four corners now. Bird, and there's another hawk around, another eagle on the other side, so it's four up there, four eagles, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 statues of people, and then you have 2 signs of authority. You see? So that's 4, 8, 9, 10. 10. We got 10 symbols up here in this whole thing. The 10 symbols all are facing the White House. Number 10 is a number of completion. So what they're basically trying to technically say is that there is some kind of a completion in which they're establishing. I mean, we already know from symbolic nature, they're establishing the complete domination, because that's what they're about. And this is what the government and those that have stole the occult science, this is how they use the occult science in a civilization perspective. You know what I mean? There are people that know the metaphysical science and nature of the universe, and they use it in their academics, they use it within their institutions, they use it within everything that they construct, the organizations and everything. You see what I'm saying? Versus building altars and things like that. There's two ways to approach universal energies. One way you can approach universal energy is by ritualizing the energies yourself. Another way is going out into nature and ritualizing the energies from out of nature. You see? This is how you're going to do it. So when it comes to symbolism and sacred geometry, you know, especially in the city of DC, they're the masters of sacred geometry. I've seen some awesome sacred geometry, but by you knowing the science from which it came from, you can look and see the intention of the designers that design these buildings when you understand African architecture. You see what I'm saying? And it goes all the way down to the bricks, the way that the bricks are laid, and the patterns of the waves, the wavy patterns all the way around, the circular nature, all of these things. This circular nature right here, this circular remember, this is a sign of authority, right? This lion, sign of authority. So look, at the foot of the lion, let's look at this. Let's show you architecture. See this foot? The foot of the lion? Let's go straight down. Let's go straight down, straight down, straight down. Here. The foot of the lion actually points here. Okay, let's go around. Let's go around this whole structure. And as we get all the way around on the other side of the structure, here's what we're going to find interesting. We're going to find that the point of this circular structure ends here and goes all the way up, right to the toe, the inner toe of the other line on the other side. But now that when we look at the structure, so you have to look at the symbolism inside of it. It's a huge crescent moon. See? Now I'm gonna back up off it so you can see it. Back up off it a little bit. This is a huge crescent moon. The crescent moon starts at his feet and his toes, and it's in direct alignment with it. And it comes all the way around and it stops there at his toe. But when we look at that curve, it's a crescent moon. So now we're looking at the power of authority on the two tips. The two tips. The power of authority on the left tip and the power of authority on the right tip of the crescent moon. So when we say that this country and the people that has stolen African metaphysical science has used the feminine energies to dominate other ethnic groups of people and to dominate the society, they have very well done it. They have mastered the feminine energies. And this is why most of the Greek and Roman statues, they have some level of femininity to it. Even the men one, they have some level of femininity to it. So it's interesting how they really master the feminine energy in using it. See how they got the angel right there with the boat. The woman leads the boat. You see, the woman is in front of the boat. They're letting you know, and that woman is in front, but that woman is within the crescent. She's actually the only one within the crescent from the toe. See, from this toe of the lion all the way around. She's the only actual object, the only actual one caught in the midst of the crescent, you know, because the crescent moon is very important for feminine energy, and these are some of the energies that they use to dominate the world. Just like that. You know, and you know, the whole DC is built off Masonic infrastructures and things that's based off occult and metaphysical science. So it's just interesting for me knowing symbolisms the way I do and coming out into the streets and kind of looking at the building and the architecture, you know, and seeing the occult nature, man, the stolen African science all over DC. This is one of the major places, man, where you see stolen science from, you know what I mean? It's all the stolen science right there. See, they go to hawk, you know, they go to eagle. Not by stolen science, man. All stolen science. You know, the blackbird. You see what I'm saying? And if you look into it, you would see certain things like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 feathers on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 feathers on that side. So now, you have 13 feathers. Look, 13 feathers on this side, 13 feathers on that side. You know what I mean? For real. 13 tribes, 13 colonies, 13 wings. So what they're saying is that on the four corners of the earth, and you know, we deal with energies, you know what I mean? And for those of us that work out witchcraft, our voodoo, our hoodoo, we know about the energies of the four directions. We know about the energies of the four winds, right? Okay, these birds fly by what? They fly by wind, right? By air, wind, the wind energy, the air energy. And this is how people manipulate the elemental forces through the totem power. And this is why I talk about totem animals a lot, because totem animals carry very high psychological and magical significances. So these 13 wings on all of these birds, 13 feathers, all represent the 13 colonies that they had high, or they say that they're saying that they have high spiritual authority over. That these birds, that really ain't birds. When you look down, it's a man kneeling down. See? It's a man and he's kneeling down, preparing to take flight over the 13 colonies. So these 4, 2, 3, and the other bird over there, there it goes. These birds here, these 4 birds, are all part of the universal scheme that they've created to dominate the 4 corners of the earth and to dominate the 4 winds of the earth, you know, with higher spiritual vision, according to what they think, higher spiritual vision than everybody else. So this is another symbolism, and this bird looks like a candle. You know, this looks like a huge candle holder, and then they have 3. 1, 2, 3. Huge candle holder. Okay, light. 1, 2, 3. So they're trying to say that this building of transportation, it opens paths. Like this building opens paths to transportation. So they know how to harness the energy from a geomancy and an architectural standpoint. They definitely know how to harness this energy. You know what I mean? And even if you walk between them, it's so Masonic that if you walk between them, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 42, 43, 44. It's about 44. I'm off a little bit. But it's about 44 feet. 44 feet apart on this side. I measured the other side too. It's like 44 feet apart over there. You know what I mean? It's all symbolism when you look at it. 4 and 4, what, 8? You know what I mean? So it's 44 here and 44 there. 44 and 44 is 88. You know what I mean? 8 plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. So ultimately, the ultimate end expression of what they're trying to put forth is that they are God. Okay? They are God. All of these mathematical connotations that's kind of around here in the architecture, all subconsciously reference the creators of the architectures as God of the civilization. You see what I'm saying? Because it all falls down to the number 7. And that's just one way of looking at it. You know what I mean? But there's many other ways to look at it, for the most part. You know, I just wanted to share a couple of things with y'all in reference to that real quick. You know what I mean? Because when you look at the architecture of a lot of things, man, I can tell you, usually have a little Pigeon out here, man. I ain't gonna lie, when I be talking to Union Station, They usually have a little pigeon out there. I'll probably put him in my pocket. I'm looking for him. He usually be like, hey, yo, little pigeon usually be right there. Usually be right there. But they ain't right there now. See, these cigarette butts here, you don't pick them up. See, you ain't know what kind of stress. You know what kind of stress people had on their mind. You pick up the cigarette butts of people who you know winning. You know, winning and doing big things. All right, y'all. We got big things going on, obviously. So we're talking about the energies of buildings, man. Look, in Union, since they're down here now, I'll show y'all. See, they got statues, man. Like these statues are like all over this place, all up there, all Greek and Roman statues, man. And they got them lined up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 right there. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Plus 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 33, man. That's kind of interesting, man. They have absolutely 33 Roman Greek statues all lined around the top of this building, and it's completely, a Masonic structure. Look at the hexagons, the hexagons, all the hexagons. Let's count them: 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 51. So it's 51 in each column. 51 and 51 is 102. 102 and 102 is 204. 204 and 51 take us where we need to be. So that's the mathematical connotations of that. Everything is math. Everything is math. Either you adding it or you subtracting it from reality. You know what I mean? And this is the science of on and off, up and down, left and right, cause and effect. All of these things demonstrate that there's a duality amongst all the things that we deal with in life, all the elements, all the energies, everything we deal with in life has duality. Even human beings, we have dualities. You know what I mean? 1 minute you might be a killer, next minute you soft as Ralph Trash, man, because your girl got you crying. You know what I mean? But that's how it go. You know what I mean? We have to balance our energies. You know what I mean? And balancing your energies is thinking ahead. Ain't no need to be emotional about something that just won't progress or benefit you, But there's a lot of sacred geometry around here, you know what I mean? So we gonna get deep into this, and we're gonna talk about all the sacred geometry and everything. It's all over this place, man. It's all in the bricks, all in the floors. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all join me, man. Join me on this class in November 10th. I still got my pocket full of dirt. This class here is actually going to be held at the Potomac River, man. I'm gonna go at the Potomac River, and I'm gonna be live out there doing this class. It's gonna be, it's gonna be important, man. Y'all gonna love it, because everything I'm giving out in this class is gonna be based on prosperity and self-transformation. Because for the most part, we don't want to kind of pretty much get involved in doing work for other people. The great work is the great work that you can do on yourself to make. Because sometimes, to remove problems and stuff like that, it get complex, because for the most part, like if a client call me, somebody call me with a burden, the reality is I have to accept that burden in order to put this kind of transformation down for that person that they really need. I have to accept that burden, you see? And by me accepting the burden, it puts a greater burden on me and my own personal life and my own personal challenges, because I got to take your burden on in order to free you of your affliction. So I always recommend that people learn how to remove and spiritually heal themselves. That's the most important thing. I can help you if need be, but the most important thing is to know how to spiritually heal yourself, because that's really important. And a lot of times people they pretty much pass over that and put their healings in other people's hands. You know what I mean? And for the most part, that's probably not the best thing to do. put your healings in somebody else's hand, because you have to absolutely trust that person, one, and you have to know that that person have the kind of energy to bring you the kind of healing that you really need, and the kind of insight, spiritual and psychic insight, you know what I mean, is real important in this thing. I know a lot of people that know how to do work, but they don't know how to read. And I would say this, when you trying to do work, or if you're doing spiritual work and you don't know how to read, do a reading, it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of make it complex because for the most part, if you have no spiritual vision, it's like, how can you do work for somebody? You know, you gotta have a vision. Because if you ain't got that, how you can do work? How you know if you're moving in the right direction, or you're going to move in the right direction? If you have no vision, who are you talking to? What kind of spirit you communicating? That's the main part that I've been trying to figure out. Like, you can't do a reading, but you're doing work. Like, if you can't communicate with a spirit, why are you doing spiritual work? Part of doing spiritual work is being able to communicate with spirits, and spirit communication is very important when it comes to getting work done. You know what I mean? And for a lot of times, most of the times, people don't understand the significance of being able to look into things and have the insight you need. You know what I mean? Because the insight is very important. Very important. You know, having spiritual vision is very, very important. And I don't know why people think that, they can use their mind. There's a difference between using your mind and using your vision. You know, when I use my mind, I'm just thinking. I'm in my linear state of mind. You know, I'm linear. I'm thinking. But then when I use my higher senses, my higher intuitive abilities, then, like in my book, I talk about trance work. I mention trance work, talk about it. But see, people don't understand the significance of trance work. And one thing about trance work, people say, well, I can just do these breathing exercises and all of a sudden my mind is going to go into a state of trance. No, it doesn't work like that. The way that it really works is that you have to consistently ground and pound, consistently work, consistently be diligent in mastering breath control, because breath control is extremely important. Hip-hop artists, rappers, singers, they all master breath control. You know, singing is actually going into the state of trance. It's actually a practice that was originally designed for trance work, singing in Africa. But then what happened is, when other cultures came about, singing became more of a entertainment thing, and the actual power and essence of singing and what it really meant, it left the minds of the people, and everybody started singing for entertainment versus singing for spiritual change. You see what I'm saying? And this is the paradigm that we are caught up in America. We have so much music out here, but very little of the music is spiritual, because people have taken music out of its proper context. And this is something that I talked about in my book, and I talked about with trance work on my page, my Facebook page, because for the most part, our genetic blueprint for going into a state of trance is simply musical. I said it on my post, and it really is. So you have to think about the time, especially the woman, man. Y'all think about the time that y'all get up in the morning, you feeling good, you had a good dream, and you out there mopping the floor, you sweeping and mopping, and you got your music on, you jamming your Anthony Hamilton, or y'all be jamming, I'll Beyonce or wherever y'all jamming, you know what I mean, I'm wrong, and you vibrating. You see what I'm saying? You're really vibrating. You dancing around the kitchen, doing your thing, getting it in, going all the way through, you know what I mean? And what that does is it ignites your energy and bring your energies to the forefront. But even when your energies come to the forefront, you have to know how to project that. You see what I'm saying? How to send it out, how to project it. And this is the science of spirit force. You see what I'm saying? When you call something up, it's like all the dancing and moving and singing and rapping and tapping the foot and the footwork. All of that there is just to stir up the energy. Once the energy is up there, then what? What you gonna do then with the energy up there? You see, that's when you have to contain the energy and then you have to direct it. And this is the part that most people don't know. So like when we go into nightclubs and you go into nightclubs and everybody there jamming and dancing and getting it in, they're stirring up the energies. Of course they are. They're stirring up the energies, but what we have lost in our culture is after we stir up the energy, we don't have no way of grounding it from a cultural perspective. Like we go to the clubs and we stir up the energy and we don't ground the energy. Now in Africa, when they go and have these ceremonies and they stir up the energy, they have a way of grounding the energy. So when the ceremonies go on and they dance and they clap and they sing and they do all of that, they have to stir up all that energy, call all those spirits. But at the end of the ceremony, they know how to bring the energy back down so everybody can be normal again. Because when you're doing all that singing and that dancing, everybody in the elevated state, everybody got all kind of spiritual forces, the ancestors' energies coming through on them. You see, so they're not normal. That's only after the ceremony is completed, the music stops, then everybody bring everything down and ground everybody. And this is why after certain ceremonies, people have to get cleansed. Because the cleansing process itself is to ground you. You know, it's not to take this evil spirit off you. No, it's really to ground you after you've been highly spiritually elevated during the ceremonies. You see? And see, being that we missed the context over here in America, we go into these clubs, we go into these crazy parties, and we turn all the way up past 10, and we don't know how to ground ourselves. So we go home all the way past 10, and then we wake up all the way past 10 until the energy decides to bring itself down. The issue is that we have other obligations in life. Like if you come from the club on Friday, when you wake up Saturday morning, you don't still need your energy to be there because you won't ground it. So your energy is all over the place when you wake up Saturday morning. Then Sunday energy is still over the place. And then you wonder why certain things happening in your life. That's because you go in places where there's high, intense spiritual energies and you don't ground yourself when you leave the place. You see? So in life, you know, it's real important that we pay attention to the energy flows that come in and out of our life. All right, so I'm gonna take a few minutes to kind of kick it with y'all. So let me look at some of this, some of my messages. Benjamin Banneker was instrumental in the design. Oh yeah, of course he was. Hello, Wise One. What's up? Marvin, Blessed for Abundance. How you doing? Hey. Oh yeah, singing at home for spiritual change. Hey, you should sing in your house. You know, I encourage people to do everything from the heart. And let me tell you something. If you should sit down and write a song and sing that song from your heart to your ancestral spirits and to your spirits, if you write it from the heart and you sing it, that song will be more powerful than any song you could ever learn. You see? Because it's the level of purpose that you placed into the song. When you sit down for 2 weeks to write that song, every day you write a word to that song, you place some kind of spiritual energy into it from you. You see? So you can sing. And I encourage people to write their own music. Half of y'all women can sing anyway, you know what I mean? Write something spiritual, drop it on me, I might sing it, you know what I mean? So, and trust me, because it's all about vibrations. It's all about us stirring it up. And a lot of times when we look at music, we say, well, who don't have no music? Like how Africa and in Cuba and other places, they have music to go with their spirituality. But we don't have that music to go with our spirituality. So therefore, we have to create that music to go with our spirituality. Now, even though the music is here, you have plenty spiritual music that comes from the jazz, the blues, but y'all ain't in tune with that old school stuff. You know what I mean? I dig it. But what I'm saying is a lot of hip hop artists coming out now, music is spiritual. You know what I mean? Like I can go to the graveyard and bump the Kendrick Lamar, Never Take Me Out My Element, and work all kind of, just put it in my headphones, and boom, the music, the vibration, and everything out of it You know, like, don't take me out of my element. It's like that energy that's charged you, like, yo, nothing can stop you. Keep going forward. You're motivated, and you're going to achieve all your goals because nothing can take you out of your element. So, yeah, you know, you have to look at, and I suggest that all the time, look at some of the music that's out there now and look at your work, the work that you're doing, and then align the music that's out there now with your work. For real, align it with your work. You know, trust me, listen to some T.I., big things popping, little things stopping. Listening to that while you working some money magic. Like what? Put the T.I. in your headphones and big things popping, and you just sit there and you dance, you jam, you vibrate, you sing the words, and at the same time you meditating on, you visualizing, you materializing in your mind mentally that what you already got. You're thinking about, you know, this 5,000 you're trying to get, then you got to think about it. You got to see yourself with it. You got to see yourself getting it. You got to see people giving it to you. You got to see you providing services to get it, to earn it. And you got to see your foot moving. You got to see your foot moving to make it manifest, make it happen. You know what I mean? Because magic without motion is nothing. You know what I mean? Magic got to be in motion at all times. So that's what's important about that's what's important about you know, about this work right here. Let me look at my question and see what y'all got for me. Yeah, Blissful Abundance. You can definitely listen to Jodeci, man. You know, that's a baby maker music, you know what I mean? And if you're trying to manifest some love in your life, yes, listen to that music. But not only listen to the music, materialize it. You know what I mean? Like when you listen to the music, do little things around the house as you're listening to the music and you're stirring up the energy. Slide and glide across the floor. You know, stir up the energy, man. If you got to do the little stomp, do the stomp. All you need to do is stir the energy up, and then you channel that energy. You know what I mean? And when I say how you channel that energy, there's many different ways. For you, I would say, take his picture and put some honey on your hand. Put his hand on the picture and just channel all of the energy that you channel. You know, now I'm still there. I gotta go, y'all. It's been good, man. That's been kicking the. Stand up to allow customers to exit. But